all. Thank you for coming today. The topic of discussion is why we should hold tobacco companies responsible for tobacco-related diseases. Sometimes it falls upon a generation to be great. You can be that generation, and that's from Nelson Mandela. The reason as to why we need to hold this company responsible is because nicotine is very addictive. And because it's very addictive, the ingredients in it are not disclosed by this industry. Today, I will explain the problems that exist because of the tobacco industry. One of the problems is that the tobacco industry makes the print on the tobacco product, the warning print on the tobacco product very small. And this is a very big problem. That's why we have a lot of people go and buy the product and consume it. And when they get sick is when they remember that, oh, actually what I have been consuming wasn't good for me. The companies have hidden truth of the dangers and the addictiveness of this product. This product, tobacco product, causes diseases like cancer of the lungs, cancer of the throat, cancer of the liver, arthritis, tuberculosis, name them all. And because it hides the health hazards of smoking, because when someone smokes, in the long run, after years and years of smoking, is when they get sick. They don't get sick right away from 1 week of smoking. It takes time, and their addictiveness leads to all these diseases. Another problem is that the tobacco products are very cheap. So because the price is very low, all people of all different caliber can afford it. Like the poor can go and afford a tobacco product. The rich, the same thing. Then when we talk about the age, the old and the young, you find that young people start smoking below the age of 18, and then they get addicted to it, which is a very huge problem right now. When we talk about the problems, of course, I have to offer the solutions. So I'm here to offer some of the solutions that we are going to all discuss and agree on, because we are the generation that are going to see the end to this huge problem. We need to call upon the government to regulate the tobacco companies, and the tobacco companies should increase the prices of their products. They should make their products expensive instead of them making them cheap, because they make them cheap so that they can get more, they can be able to market their product. They can be able to get more consumers. But when they make it expensive, it makes the consumers discouraged from consuming the product because it's more expensive, so they will not buy it like the way they are buying it when it's cheap. Another thing is that they need to make the warning print on their products really big. So for example, they can put the lungs, how the lungs are going to look like in the long run after smoking, how the lungs will look very dark and black, so that when the consumer is buying it, they see it very clear, not in small print. Another one is that these companies should start paying medical bills for all these patients who get diseases like especially cancer, because when they get like lung cancer, and it's because they've been smoking all their life, the medical bills are very expensive. So these tobacco companies need to chip in and start paying bills for all these patients of cancer disease because of smoking tobacco, because they have been their good customers for over 20 years. If they were their good customers, so they should compensate and make sure that they pay some of the bills. And also this will make these tobacco companies to disclose what exactly they have in the nicotine, the ingredients that contain in there, the ingredients that make people addictive to it, ingredients that make people want to consume this product. And yet this product is actually has a very big health hazard. I would love you to imagine a world which you're living in, and the air is very fresh, and you don't have to worry about secondhand smoking, because we have a lot of people who die of secondhand smoking. I would like you to imagine a world where we are having a generation of few people who smoke. A world where we do not have to worry about our children sneaking in at the age of as young as 13 that they are already consuming tobacco products. Smoking is very harmful to the health, but still smokers go ahead and buy tobacco. And this is one of the counter arguments that a lot of people give, that the tobacco companies do not force their consumers to go and buy the products, that they know better. And I'm going to welcome some questions from you before we sign the cards that you have on your seat. So I'll take some questions, and then you sign that card, and those cards, we're going to send them to our lawmakers so that they can start regulating the tobacco companies. Question?
How would you deal with how Hollywood portrays smoking? What would you do to stop them?
I would say that they need to air out more stories that show how smoking is very hazardous in the long run, and how people get sick, get cancer, after smoking in the long run. Because they air out some stories like that, but it's not very common. Most of them are like glamorizing smoking instead. But I would say that they would just give us more stories that educate us about how smoking is very dangerous to our health.
So people usually use smoking as a social, in social gatherings. Mm-hmm. So what do you propose to make it stop, especially in young adults?
Especially in young adults.
Mm-hmm.
So I would still propose for us to sign those cards, and those are the cards that the government, that will be sent to the lawmakers, so that the government regulates the tobacco companies to make sure that they disclose what is in the nicotine, and also to make the print on the tobacco products bigger, so that the young generation that is not always all about looking so close to the small print, they can be able to see the bigger picture of how they look in the long run after smoking for years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we sign the cards.
Yeah, please sign those cards, and those cards are the ones that we are going to send to the representative. And all this information, I got it from the Center for Disease and Control, and then there is tobaccocontrol.bmg.com, and this is all where I got most of the facts. And another website was a lawyersuit.com, where you can read about different people who have sued some tobacco companies. There's one that was in Connecticut, the state of Connecticut, that they sued the tobacco companies for the cause of death of so many young people in that state. More than, like a lot of people died from smoking more than AIDS. Yeah, so I would love you to go to those websites and read more about this. Thank you.